Okay, here we are, back with Pig Heart Boy. I mean, I am absolutely loving this. I mean, I know it's for you, but it's as much for me because it's such a brilliant book. Now, I really didn't want to leave it where we left it yesterday after the press conference. So we're on to chapter 17 today, which is offers. I know what I think offers means. You know those envelopes that got passed to Cam? I think they're going to be offers from newspapers for like an exclusive story, offer him money. But I could be wrong, that's just my inference. Let's read on and see what the offers are. Chapter 17, offers. When we finally got home, I have to admit I was dog-tired. I put it down to the anxiety of going on the telly for the first time. And the last, if I had my way. There was still a crowd outside our house. It wasn't as big as the day before, but it was big enough. My heart sank at the prospect of us having to fight our way through yet more people. Luckily, there were also 2 policemen I hadn't seen before near our house. They made a beeline for us. "Am I glad to see you? How come you're still here?" asked Dad. "Sergeant Dexter thought a couple of us had better stay here to make sure the crowd behaves," said one of the policemen. We were escorted through the crowd into our house. On the way, a woman shouted to me, "Can I shake your hand, Cameron?" I was so surprised that a perfect stranger should want to shake my grubby hand that I actually put it out. Only then did I realise I was still holding the 2 envelopes I'd been given at the TV studio. I'd forgotten all about them. I switched them to my other hand. The woman beamed at me. "Good luck!" I smiled back, unsure of what to say. We entered our house. The police stayed outside. "Kathy, would you like a cup of peppermint tea?" Dad asked. "Yes, please." Mum sighed gratefully. "What a day." "I'll massage your feet as well if you like, said Dad. Rather him than me. "What about my feet?" I asked. "Your cheesy feet, you must be joking. You've got 2 hands, haven't you?" said Dad. "Get on with it." So that was that. Not that I'd expected anything else. I tore open the first envelope, wondering what was so important. I started to read, and the more I read, the more amazed I became. I literally couldn't believe my eyes. I read it again, thinking that maybe someone was playing a joke on us. "Cam, what's the matter?" asked Mum. Stunned, I looked at her. I handed her a letter without a word. Mum's expression mirrored my own as she started to read. "My eyes aren't playing tricks on me, are they?" I whispered. "What's going on?" Dad asked. "This newspaper is offering us thousands of pounds for our story." Mum handed her the letter. "They want our exclusive story and unlimited access to Cameron for the next year." As Dad read the letter, I tore open the second letter that had been thrust into my hands. "Yes," I squealed with delight. "We're rich. This newspaper is offering even more money than the first one." Mum snatched the letter out of my hand. I started dancing round the hall. "We're rich, we're rich. I can get a mountain bike with 24 gears. I could get a car if I wanted to." A slow burning frown crept over Mum's face. Dad stared at me. "What's the matter?" I asked. Anyone would think the roof had just blown off rather than not 1 but 2 offers of tons of money in the very same day. Mum and Dad looked at each other without saying a word. They both proceeded to tear each offer into shreds. "What are you doing? Are you mad?" I stared at the bits of paper Mum was piling into Dad's cupped hands. I followed Dad as he walked into the living room and dumped the whole lot into the into the waste paper bin. I fell to my knees and scrambled in the bin to fish the pieces out again. "Cameron, get up now!" Dad used a tone of voice that I'd never heard before. It stopped me cold. I looked at him. His eyes were sparkling with anger. Anger directly, solely at me. "Get off your knees." I stood up, although I could hardly drag my eyes away from the bin. "But Dad, that's a lot of money." "I don't care if they offer 10 times as much. My answer would still be the same. I'm not letting the papers or the telly or anyone else into our lives like that." But, I don't understand." "Cameron, Your dad and I want this family to get back to normal as soon as possible, said Mum. We want our lives to get back to the way they were, private and ours. We can hardly say we want our privacy if we let a tabloid plaster our faces and our whole lives over the front page now, can we? But what about all the money? I couldn't believe that Mum and Dad would pass up an opportunity like this. They're going to pay us a fortune. Not if we say no, they're not, said Mum. But you can't say no. You just can't. We could have a new house and a new car and anything we want. We have a roof over our heads, bread on the table and each other. What more do we want? Dad smiled. I'm being serious. I was practically shouting by now. I couldn't help it. All that money had danced in front of me, and now, because of Mum and Dad, it was dancing away out of reach. If we don't take the money, they'll just give it to the next transplant patient Dr. Bryce talked about. That's our money. Dad's smile disappeared. That is not our money. Cameron, the press aren't getting our story because we have nothing to tell them. They want my story, not yours. You don't have a story. Fury sat like a boulder on my chest. By rights, that's my money, not yours. You've got no right to say no. I want. Cameron, that's enough. Mum frowned. We said no, and that's final. I hate you. I hate both of you, I shouted, and I ran up the stairs to my bedroom as fast as I could. I didn't stop until I threw myself on the bed, every part of my body clenched and angry. I waited to hear footsteps climbing the stairs. At any moment now, Mum and Dad would come into my room and tell me that if I really wanted to give my story to the papers, they'd let me do it. Any second now. But there were no footsteps. My bedroom door didn't open. I sat up on my bed and watched the door. Dr. Bryce had given me a new lease of life, and just like that, Mum and Dad were determined to ruin it. Images of money swirled around me, notes up to the ceiling, 5 and 10 and 20 and £50 notes spread out as far as the eye could see, and it could have all been mine. How could they? I would never ever forgive them, not if I lived to be 150. Cameron, come on downstairs for your dinner. Mum popped her head around the door. I'm not hungry. I didn't look up from my bed. I've been in my bedroom for over 2 hours now, and I had no intention of coming out for the rest of the night. I sensed rather than saw Mum come over and sit on the bottom of my bed. Did you speak to Alex today? Mum asked me unexpectedly. No, I looked at her. Why? I think you should, said Mum. I think you should tell Alex exactly what's going on. I don't need to anymore, I frowned. I'm going to be around for a good while yet. I know, but you can still tell Alex all about the months before he or she was born. I thought that, but then I thought maybe it was tempting fate, I said doubtfully. A lot of things are going to happen to all of us in the next few months. Some good, some bad. You'll never have another opportunity like this to let Alex know what's going on in our lives. I think you'll kick yourself if you miss your chance. I'll think about it, I replied. Mum smiled. Fine. She stood up and walked to the door. I'll keep your dinner in the oven for you just in case you change your mind. I won't. We'll see, was all she said. Mum, I'm sorry I said I hated you and Dad, I mumbled. I didn't mean it. I know, but that's why you have to be careful about money. Money being the root of all evil, I supplied dismissively. The last thing I wanted from Mum was a morality lecture. Money can do a lot of good things. Money isn't the root of all evil. Love of money is the root of all evil. Mum amended. You think about what happened when we told you we were going to turn down those offers made by the newspapers. You turned into someone else. Someone I could barely recognise. You'll have to watch that, Cameron. Hold on to the things that mattered before your operation. I frowned at Mum. I hadn't a clue what she was talking about. Cameron, you're a very special boy. Your dad and I love you very much. We always have and we always will. But now lots of people are going to say you're only special because of your operation. They'll want to throw money at you and goodness only knows what else. But don't let them. Or you'll start to believe that's the only thing about you that's worth anything is your new heart. And then the true you will get lost. Do you understand? I shook my head. Never mind. Maybe one day you will. See you downstairs, Mum said, and she shut the door behind her. I felt really strange once Mum had left. I stood up and walked over to my dressing table, staring at myself in the mirror. I replayed in my head everything that had happened downstairs, everything I'd said, everything I'd done. I thought over what Mum had just said, grasping to understand what she tried to tell me. But the more I thought about it, the more confused I felt. I took the camcorder bag out from under the bed. Hi Alex, it's me again. We've just come back from a press conference. My first and last, I hope. Dr. Bryce didn't put a foot wrong. I didn't put a foot right. Dr. Bryce talked about me as if I was just a piece of machinery on an assembly line. The first of many. Bring 'em on. Next. That's how I felt when he was talking. But then, what did I expect? I don't know. Maybe I expected him to refer to me more. Maybe I expected him to refer to me less. Maybe I wanted to be special, unique. I don't know. All I know is that it was hot and bright under the lights, and after a while I began to feel very sick. I was glad to get out of there. On the way out, 2 journalists stuffed envelopes into my hand, and guess what? 2 newspapers offered me thousands of thousands for my story. Me? Can you imagine? But Mum and Dad said no and put the letters in the bin. I hit the roof. I went absolutely ballistic. All I could see was the money I was losing. It was as if they were stealing it out of my pocket, which of course they weren't. I can't believe how I blew up at them. I still don't see why we can't just take the money, give the papers a couple of interviews and laugh all the way to the bank. But I shouldn't have lost my temper like that. I don't know what came over me. Yes, I do. I think I became blinded by the pound signs in my eyes. It was a lot of money. Ah well, at least one day I'll be able to look back and say I was offered a fortune for my life story. Me? There's not many people who can say that. I think I'll shut up now, I'm hungry. I'm going to go down for my dinner. Talk to you soon. Mum, where's my dinner? Mum and Dad exchanged a smile. In the oven. Hungry now? Starving. Are you going to eat it with us? Asked Dad. I frowned. Where else would I eat? Just wondered, Dad said in a fake offhand manner. Sorry about earlier, I mumbled and sat down. Your dinner's in the oven, Mum repeated pointedly. Oh, and I'm big enough and ugly enough to get it myself, eh? I stood up again. Mum and Dad laughed. You said that. We didn't. Okay. End of that chapter. That was a fairly short one. We're at about 12 minutes, so I will be wrapping up because otherwise I'll be stuck uploading it forever. Really good chapter. Really interesting. Not why, do you think Cameron and the family should have taken the money? What is your honest opinion? Did they do the right thing by refusing it? What do you think they should have done? Oh, the next question is, what did Mum mean when she was trying to explain to Cameron? When she said it turned him into a different person, what was she talking about? What impact did that money have? Really intriguing chapter. Can't wait for tomorrow. The next chapter, and this is the last one for the week, because it's Thursday today. This will be our last one, and I think there's 2 chapters tomorrow, you lucky sausages. Yeah, we're having 18 and 19 tomorrow. Tomorrow, chapter 18 is school. That's going to be a good one. Brace yourselves for that. Enjoy your Thursday evening, and I will speak to you tomorrow. And it's Friday. Woo!